Hey, what's going on, Ram fans? It is officially mock draft season. That's what we're going to call it. And I'm going to run my first video version of a mock draft by myself. I'm going to have Scott Richmond on in a couple days here. We may run a mock draft after we do a discussion about the roster. And then Paul will be joining me for a bunch of mock drafts. And this is as much about getting back in the groove as anything else, using the interface, sharing the results, and getting to know these players. I'll get through some notes first. Braden Fisk apparently having a minor procedure done on his knee. The knee injury suffered again in the divisional round game against the Eagles. And that's actually good news in my opinion. He'll be ready to go by the start of the season. Matthew Stafford retirement rumors circulating again, and Sean McVay isn't helping the cause. And I think part of this is, dare I say, the Rams trying to stay in the news a little bit, a la the Dallas Cowboys. And hey, that's fine. I'm pretty convinced Matthew Stafford's going to be back. Cooper Kupp, a little bit of a different story. The rumors are they will trade him, and we've actually discussed that. We thought the Rams may move on from him in one way or another. And worth noting that if they do anything, maybe it'll be post June 1st. Maybe it'll be before June 1st. If it's before June 1st, it's a $17 million savings, still a $12.5 million cap hit. And if it's post 6/1, it's a $20 million savings. And then the cap hit gets spread over 2 years, 2025 and 2026. So wouldn't be surprised if they moved on from Kupp. The problem is, who are their wide receivers? That would leave Puka Nacua, Jordan Whittington, and Xavier Smith under contract. Maybe they'll get a second round pick back for Kupp if they do trade him. And, it's really sad to even talk about trading Cooper Kupp. To me, he's one of those players I'd like to see him. I'd be happy to see him finish out his career in LA, but his contract hit, it's just too much. And so I suspect maybe the Rams will be moving on from Cooper Kupp, as sad as it is. And, he'd be a fine number 2 receiver at about half the price. Is he willing to take that much of a salary cut to stay with the Rams? I don't know. Maybe his wife will have something to say about that, huh? If they love living in Southern California. And, a lot of times it depends on where you're going to get, who you're going to get traded to. And we know the Rams well enough to know that the Rams will consult with Cooper Kupp about where he is getting traded to. They may even let him choose. And would be surprised if that happens, because Cooper Kupp, one of the greatest Rams ever, great person, great player. Hoping he sticks with the Rams, but if he does not, hoping the best for him. I think I'd rather see him in the AFC, though. Hey, maybe the Chargers will take a run at him. See, what else do we got? 2 Rams up as finalists for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. We expected that as well. Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. And 2 Eagles, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. And then Chop Robinson, the edge rusher out of Penn State. It better be Verse. It just better be Verse. I'm tired of the Rams getting kind of screwed out of these awards, and maybe we shouldn't care that much, but I do. So let's get on with this draft. And again, I'm just going to kind of wing it here. The Rams do not have that second round pick. They gave it up to enable them to draft Braden Fisk. They do have a first round pick, a third round pick, and then they will be getting a third round comp pick for the signing of Raheem Morris. And then a fourth round pick, no fifth round pick. And that's another void they could fill with a potential Cooper Kupp trade. And then 3 6th-round picks, 1 their own and 2 they picked up in trades. So let's get this started. And again, this is kind of a dry run. Let's call it a dry run mock draft. Our first, the first one that I'm sharing as I make the picks. I shared the results of, did a mock draft just on a whim the other day. I shared those results. And hey, every time I do a mock draft, I discover a new player. Sometimes afterwards, I draft a guy and then I research. I don't like to do research on guys as I'm making the picks. That's not very entertaining. And, yeah, I'm not going to be able to speak to a lot of these guys as we make these picks, but each draft will become a little bit smarter about all of these players. Let's get this started. I will not make any trades, and I have it set on fast speed. Let's go. Let's see how it works. And I'll have to deal with these ads popping up on occasion here. You'll see the picks running across the top there, and it's already the Rams picks. And Colston Loveland, we did, Paul and I already did our tight end review. You can go back and look at that on the YouTube channel. We have one coming up on the wide receivers. That'll be available in about a week or 10 days. And the tight end group, Colston Loveland, some folks have him rated above Tyler Warren out of Penn State. Not sure I'm buying it. Defensive lineman Kenneth Grant. I don't think the Rams will draft an interior defensive lineman, although they may need one with Neville Gallimore and Bobby Brown, both free agents. And then I would love to see them select a top-notch cornerback with Ahkello Witherspoon heading out the door. We seem to be able to get by with this defense without these elite cornerbacks. I mean, Darius Williams, Kobe Durant, and Ahkello Witherspoon are all good, but none of them are going to get a sniff of the Pro Bowl any day soon. I don't know why I got Rose Bowl on my mind, but so who would you take here? Who would Sean McVay take? I think we maybe have an answer. He'd probably go after Colston Loveland, and is it a big need? We have 4 tight ends in 2024. Hunter Long's a free agent, and I've already said Hunter Long, if I'm Hunter Long, I'm leaving. He's not getting a fair shake here. At least it doesn't seem that way. And he has some potential. So I don't see Hunter Long coming back unless Tyler Higbee were to retire. But I'm going to go ahead and take Colston Loveland. And let's see how this plays out. And it might not be the wisest thing to do, but we'll go ahead and do that. So I take Loveland, and I'm probably getting an A because they probably don't see it as a big need for the Rams. But if this offense, they're going to have to add wide receivers at some point, and there's a few I really like. And Jalen Royals, we see here, he's out of Merlin Olsen's alma mater. I took him last time in my first draft, and we'll be talking a lot about him. He is a very talented guy, could fit into this offense well. I'm not going to get into the details. He is one player I know a little bit about. And look there's Gunnar Helm, the tight end out of Texas. We could have got him in the 3rd round, so lesson learned. Maybe it would have been wise to go a different direction. So, and I want to do one of these streaming live, and we can have people chime in and direct me on who to take. But this time, who do I take? Let's look at the wide receivers. We're already into the 3rd round, remember, and it's Jalen Royals. Ty Felton's another guy that we like. We'll talk more about him when we do our wide receiver reviews. But maybe going to bore you to tears here taking the same guy I took last time, but I'm going to go ahead and take Jalen Royals. This wide receiver room needs help. And remember, I'm betting we have a 2nd round pick, especially if we work out a trade for Cooper Kupp. So go ahead and take Royals there. I got another A. So what are we looking at? I'll reject these trades. What's going on with our left tackle situation? What's going on with our interior defensive line with Bobby Brown potentially moving on? We have Tyler Davis and Kobe Turner, 2 very good young players. We Roseboom and Troy Reader are both free agents. We have Omar Spates there. It'd be great to improve that group. I think our safety group is really sound. We need a running back, but I shouldn't say we need a running back. I think Ramley, as we like to say, would love to see us go a different direction at running back, but I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to draft a running back, but not anywhere not this early in the draft, I don't think. So who would they pick? Carson Schwessinger, Denzel Burke. He's a guy that we picked him last time as well. Let's just mix it up though. Let's go with the cornerback out of Georgia just to change it up a little bit, Dalen Everett, and we'll learn a little bit about him after the draft. Sorry to do it this way, but hey, if you already are well versed in all these players, I salute you. I am not. I'm more focused on positions at this point. That was our 4th round pick. Now, that was our first 3rd round pick, and now we have the comp pick at the end of the 3rd round for the Raheem Morris signing. Pick 4th round, pick 125 overall. That could change as more comp picks are awarded, of course. And we have we have a couple of offensive tackles, and Havenstein getting up there in years. This is the issue I have with our offensive line. I think we're really solid on the interior, and I think Alaric Jackson and Rob Havenstein are just fine. But Alaric Jackson is going to get paid. Is he going to get paid by the Rams? Hopefully we know by draft time. And Rob Havenstein getting up there in years. I'm going to go ahead and take the offensive tackle. We cannot afford to have a question mark there. Can we get a quality offensive tackle at this point in the draft? Well, I hope so, because if Alaric Jackson moves on, we're going to be rolling with Warren McClendon, Joseph Noteboom, a free agent as well. And maybe there's someone on our roster. Could Jonah Jackson play? No, Jonah Jackson can't play left tackle. He could maybe play right tackle, but not the left side. So I'll go ahead and take Ernest Green, another guy we'll have to learn a little bit more about. Drafting 2 guys out of Georgia and 1 guy out of Michigan. I don't feel too bad about that. So now we have 3 6th round picks, and the Rams have been doing some magic in the 5th and 6th rounds, and they're going to have to do it again for this to be a successful draft. And I'll reject those trades there. And I would still like to pick up a cornerback and a wide receiver, additional cornerbacks and wide receivers. Do we need another interior offensive lineman? I don't think so. Is there a running back that we'd be interested in here? Now, Marks out of USC is certainly not the burner you're going to be looking for. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and take Marks, Woody Marks, as he goes by. Might know him as Woody Marks. And I think he is more in the vein of Kyren Williams and Blake Corum. So that could be disappointing to some Ram fans, but I'll go ahead and select him. I really like this running back. I think he, as I've said, the Rams take a running back every year, and they're going to take someone that fits their system, can fit the blocking schemes that they run, and can pick up blitzes, a little bit of pass catching too. I like Woody Marks. So we have 2 more picks, and we have what do we have so far? We have 3 on offense. We need an interior defensive lineman, and let's look at what we have here. Defensive lineman Elijah Roberts out of SMU. They're going to like this pick. They're suggesting it. Let's go ahead and add to our defensive line group. Well, before we do that, let's look at the linebackers. Who do we have? And I don't think the Rams are going to take an edge rusher here in this draft. Maybe not at all. Typically, they do that late in the draft. They have done that, right? Chris Garrett, Daniel Hardy, guys like that. But they're pretty well stocked at edge. Hopefully they bring Michael Hoyt back, but outside linebackers, they have Young and Verse, Brennan Jackson. We don't know what we have in him yet. I really like Nick Hampton and Keir Thomas. I believe Keir Thomas is either restricted or exclusive rights. So all those guys are going to be coming back, I think. Hoyt, I'm not sure about. So they may take an edge rusher late in the draft, but I don't think they take one quite yet. And so what was I leaning towards here? I already forgot. A defensive line. We just took a running back. We got to go defense here. Defensive line would make sense. Let's look at the edge rushers if anybody jumps off at the screen at us. I'm going to go back to the defensive line and go ahead and select Roberts here. What we need is a big body, and I apologize for not knowing if Roberts fits the bill. And as I look further, looking right now, he does not. He comes in at 278 pounds, and some are calling him an edge, one of those hybrid defensive end edge guys. So I don't think he really fits what the Rams need here, but too late. I made that pick, and we will move on. Lesson learned. Sure, Elijah Roberts is going to be a very good player, but I don't think for the Los Angeles Rams. But again, this is learn as we go, unfortunately, and not the best way to run drafts. It's a good way to run drafts in January when you're trying to do it for entertainment purposes and you're not spending a half an hour researching. That's why we like Paul. Paul Wally could probably speak to almost all these guys already. So we have one last pick, and I feel like they should go edge rusher. They should go defense, perhaps, maybe not edge rusher. Is there another cornerback? The thing with the cornerbacks is we have a lot of guys. Remember Darion Kendrick and Trey Tomlinson are coming back, and we have Josh Wallace and Charles Woods and Kobe Durant, Darius Williams, and then we already drafted the guy at the top here, Dalen Everett, cornerback out of Georgia. So, and I'm not drafting a safety here, not with this number of picks, the 7 picks. Our safety group's pretty darn good. What to do? Who is the best available player? We got a tight end, an interior offensive lineman, Luke Condra, and a linebacker. Let's go ahead and add a linebacker because we have a really thin group here. And I would not be surprised if the Rams drafted multiple wide receivers given that situation. Same thing with linebackers, though. I know the Rams don't typically put a lot of emphasis on that. But let's go ahead and select Demetrius Knight. And in the first draft, I took my first pick, number 26 overall. I took the linebacker out of Georgia. This time I'm into our last pick, and I am drafting a linebacker, Demetrius Knight. That's what I'm going to roll with. And there you have it. Got an A+ for that. There's our second mock draft, the first one I'm sharing as I make the picks. We'll see how that looks. Maybe I'll ask Paul to grade this. That'd probably be a good move, right? See how Paul feels about this draft. And that might be a good episode just to have him review these players and give us an idea of how he thinks I did. So that's it. We'll have a lot more of these coming. Hope you enjoyed it. Out here from Rams Up.